Round 10, sick of this song. Fucking every week, stupid song. Wacky Willy Wednesday is what we call getting your feedback. That's when you write in and we get your feedback and you send it and then we read it about 5 days later. Hello everybody, welcome to Wacky Willy Wednesday, the feedback show, the mailbag show as it's known in the 90s. Alongside me is Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hey, mate. Hey, I'm open to changing any music in any of our shows to anything you want. I'm not changing that. 10 years, mate. In 10 years, I'll consider changing that opening theme
Oh, my
song.
God.
How funny would that be? Just stick with it forever.
We're going to start with something that's close to your heart, Tom.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
I'm going to remove the swear words from Lewis's email.
Uh-oh.
Did you C-bombs just F-bomb Outdoor Boys, it's called. Up until now, I've loved everyone's work, both singularly and as a group. This pod has brought nothing but positivity into the world. Marns, you're great. Tom, you too. Broden didn't say anything nice about me. What I think a man should aspire to, curiously funny and passionate about bouncing pills. But did you three just ruin the best YouTube channel of all time? I've enjoyed Outdoor Boys way before you, F-bombs, said S-bomb, about bouncing pills, or Tom's fetish for vomit filming, or Martin's unparalleled lens of sport journalism. Outdoor Boys was going fine before Tom started flapping his beautiful gums about Luke and his family. And now, judging from Luke's last video where he has quit because the viewership has gone rabid, thanks to the Footy pod. So we brought it up on the Larky pod.
Yeah.
You bring it up ad nauseum in my life.
Sure.
You and my brother Mitch are constantly.
Yeah, we do like it.
If you don't know the Outdoor Boys, it's got 12 to 13 million subscribers. It's a guy who goes camping with his kids. I think they're religious.
They're heavily Mormon.
Latter-day Saint, LDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and his videos get genuinely 45 million views.
Yeah, they're incredible.
So let's do the quick maths on that.
Yeah, okay.
45 million. So he reckons he's got 1,100. What did he say in
He
this?
said 1.1 billion views.
But how many? He says in that video. He says how many videos they've made. Right.
1,100.
1,100, and they're all on what? Let's conservatively.
Well, he said 4 billion views overall.
Right. So how many is he getting a month? Because we're going to get to the money of how much.
We're going to get the month. So he was at his peak doing 4 YouTube videos a month. So he was weekly at his peak.
Yeah.
So we could go, say, 4 on average, X 35 million views.
Right. But then times his back catalogue. So we'll say easily over 100 million views a month, right?
Yeah, let's say 140 million views a month.
How much is he making?
So let's times that by, and this is just what I've always done.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily an exact science.
But it's close as we can get with him. But also, a popular channel like that, there's going to be more demand to be on front of his videos.
100%.
So it's more than this.
But usually we would go 0.007 cents per view. So that means he's making 980,000 cents a month. So we divide that by 100 to get the dollar figure. So at least 10 grand a month.
But that's not what he's making.
No, he'd be getting much, much more than that. But that would be
I watched that
the bare minimum.
I watched that documentary on Disney about the crazy mum, the Mormon as well, who was a fucking monster and went to jail for treatment of her kids. And they reckon they were making $100,000 a month off their YouTube channel in 2017 at its peak.
So I think it's funny to point the blame at me, but can we point the blame to the real culprit?
Yeah?
Carlton.
Why?
They came to Australia. They went to Richmond versus Carlton.
Yeah.
Carlton should have won that game by 1 million. And then after that was their last video, shut down.
You've kind of stumbled across a really good point. Is one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. Every white boy in the world is watching this channel to be very to do a generalization.
Yeah.
But
a humorous generalization.
Maybe he went to a football game and said, "Fuck, I've been wasting my life camping outside, spending time with my family. Maybe what I actually should do is go and watch the footy every week."
Yeah, and join us on the pod.
But
Luke, you're welcome anytime.
So
no, you know what actually happened?
What?
He went to that footy game. He went to Australia for the first time, and about 8,000 people. Oh, went to him at that footy game.
But America
And
would
then
be
he
worse.
split.
America would be worse.
Well, not in fucking Alaska where he lives in a township of like 5,000 people.
No, that's true.
I reckon the MCG would have genuinely tipped him over the edge.
I don't know. Do you reckon people wouldn't recognize him?
Oh, 100%. He was saying that people steal his videos and they go viral on TikTok, which is how I found him.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's also had his stuff viewed 4 billion times on TikTok.
Yeah.
So yes, I think a lot of Australians know who he is. I had Mish Wittrup the other day on the Mission Zach pod go, do you know that outdoor boy? And I was like, oh, you've engaged me.
Yeah. She says stuff like that all the time. Like, she's like, do you know a guy called Ben Brown?
Yes.
I go, yeah. And I was like, I like his wife. I'm like, I know them both very well. I play basketball with them.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Yeah, she does that a lot. She's constantly scrolling. But
Yeah, she is.
Valet, great channel.
Yeah,
but
so
his
sad.
legacy views that will just be, he'll still be making by doing nothing, millions and millions of
And
dollars.
his son has 700,000 subs and they do really cool videos as well.
nice.
Actually, his son's channel I thought would be the same shit. It's actually quite different and it's quite interesting.
What's he doing?
So he does like, I saved up $100 to buy a snowmobile and I'm going to flip it. So he goes and buys a
Oh,
shit
that's great.
snowmobile. Him and his dad, repair it and then he sells it for $1,000, Like, it's like flipping snowmobiles and shit.
Valet Luke from Outdoor Boys.
Yeah.
Not of him, but his channel.
Also, before he was a YouTuber, he was a very successful lawyer too. So,
Well, how do you know he was successful?
wow, lawyers are rich, aren't they?
No, most lawyers I know are miserable people. Respectfully.
That's why he quit to YouTube in the wilds.
Exactly. Genuinely,
Genuinely,
yes.
yeah. He was a traffic lawyer too, so very dry.
Kieran often messages, just wondering if you guys could share the best game of football you've seen live. Have you thought about this?
No, but I have an immediate basketball.
I have too. I'm in the pub across the road after Broden's Perth show, and he killed it.
Did you just make that bit up, or
Why would I make that up?
for a bit of mayo on top?
No mayo for bro. Here's my 2 best games I've seen live. And the ones that came to my head as I flew across Australia, across the Nullarbor in a plane today. Well, for Melbourne, there was a game in 2016. It was August 6th. I was flying out that night to Edinburgh. Mm-hmm. And I went to the footy in the afternoon. Melbourne, to this point, had been shit.
Yep.
Awful shit team. We're going against Hawthorn, the Four Peters. We beat them. And I just lost my mind. I was like a real turning point. And I hate flying to Edinburgh. I hate flying to the UK. It's 2 awful flights back to back, as you know. And I sat there for the first whole flight just with my eyes closed thinking about how great that game was. It was so good. The other one is the prelim last year between Geelong and Brisbane. It had everything. Speckies, up and down scoring. Brisbane just turned up and kicked the ass of Geelong, who were if Geelong won that game, they win the flag. I say it all the time.
Yeah,
it was just, I remember walking out of the G through Fitzroy Gardens, past Captain Cook's cottage, and thinking that was just so cool to be at. And my friends, the Nash boys, Malcolm and Cameron Nash, saved me a ticket. It just all worked out perfectly. Rained a little bit, but not too bad. 10 out of 10.
Can I tell my basketball story really quickly?
Sure, please.
So me and my wife, while we were filming...
My wife!
While we were filming our Netflix show, we had 2 weeks off over Christmas and we went for a drive across America, and I wanted to book in a couple of games. And I saw there was a game while we were in Sacramento versus Timberwolves.
Yes.
And I was like, fantastic. I can get to see Kat. And who's the great player who plays for...
The Ant-Man.
No, he wasn't there yet. Who's a great player for Sacramento?
Oh, Sacramento.
De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox.
And I was like, this is awesome. And because it was in Sacramento, it's less popular. For like $100 USD, you could get like tickets like 10 rows back.
Rashawn Holmes.
Rashawn Holmes was one of my favorite players at the time. You're right. So we bought these really expensive tickets, but we were 10 rows back, which is like crazy, right? Get there, Cat's out, Fox is out, which happens in the NBA, right?
Yep.
So I was like, damn, we really want to see these stars. It went to triple overtime. It was one of the greatest, closest, coolest games I've ever been to in my life.
It cost you
can't beat it.
$3.
Cost me quite a lot of money, but comparatively to if you want 10 rows back in any other city.
Yeah.
So, and it was just crazy, like triple overtime.
I like
so
that.
fun.
I think that's a good one. And the last thing I'm going to point out this week, and by the way, the emails are coming thicker and faster now.
Aren't they?
But so we do read them all and we thank you for all of your feedback. But this is literal mailbag, so we need to point it out. This comes from Josh, who sent to our office, I'm going to describe a mountain of shit. With a letter. To Broden and Tom and Marnie, and for the first time, Patty, spelt wrong. In the first few episodes of the podcast, I won some Collingwood soap. I won this by sending in a book, Every AFL VFL Player to 2008.
Great book.
Now, this is where it gets bad, Tom. And this is where you...
Oh, you?
No, you.
I don't know whether you are the culprit.
I still not received my winnings. I have still not received my winnings. However, instead of complaining, I'm extending an olive branch. As I manage an opportunity shop, I've collected some items I hope you'll enjoy in the hope that one day I shall have my long-awaited Collingwood soap clasped in my hands. In all seriousness, I do love the podcast, blah, blah, blah.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I think this towel was from... So it's become part of the set?
For fans of Donna's pod, or Auntie Donna, he sent, which I don't know why an op shop had this, like 400 packages of fake mustaches. A fuck ton of old footy books, which are really good. Some are over there. How to play football and the Australian game of football. It was a big pile of shit, but we like that shit. Paddy?
There was also a GWS Giants tie, which I wear every
You
Wednesday now.
immediately put on.
Yep.
Because you're a professional.
I know. I come prepared.
He put it over a fleece jumper.
I did.
Like some sort of inner city 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Josh, that's so funny. I think, sadly, we don't know where the Collingwood soap is, but maybe I could send you a Dove.
Yeah, I think we go get him an arrangement of a couple of soaps. So, soap bars.
Yeah.
And maybe a body wash.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We'll go down to Hobart Woolworths and get some coconut deodorant,
Yes,
I think.
yeah, 100%.
Well, it's a
Send it to
running
Josh.
joke I wasn't even there for.
I know.
The thing I love about this, thank you, Josh, because this was literally our first ever podcast where we did the giveaways, I think.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's a 3-year callback.
I think it's so funny.
For the real OGs, very, very funny.
I think it's so
Josh.
funny that we went, all right, it's going your way. And we never said that.
Which was my fault, but then you took it. So that's
Yeah.
also your fault.
You were so happy when I took it, though.
I
You're
was
like, it's no longer
scapegoat.
Yeah. All right, well, that's Wacky Willy. Enjoy Wednesday. Football tomorrow. Bye.
Wacky Willy Wednesday.